Hey Gemini, we're going to be doing your reading, so we're going to get right into it and see what is going on for you guys, Gemini. All right, Gemini. Oh, Gemini. Let's see what's going on, Gemini. All right. Okay. Chariots at the bottom. All right, Gemini, let's see. So you guys have the Five of Wands, and this is showing up in the area of your mind. I think there's something that you are trying to figure something out, or there's like a feeling of you guys being like, all right, I need to think of like some approach to do this, but how do I do it? Like, how do I get all these working parts to like work in unison? Okay. Something like that. That's kind of what I'm feeling. All right. I also think that you're thinking thinking in the terms of like, well, this is definitely worth fighting for, but it might, take some figuring out, or something like that. So all right, you have the Nine of Cups, and this is showing up in the area of your feelings. I think that you're feeling an energy of, this is going to be successful, that kind of stuff. Okay. I also think that you're feeling like a certain level of comfort with something. Okay. Maybe you're just feeling like, you know what, I'm actually comfortable kind of doing something that maybe is a little bit chaotic, or requires maybe a lot of like action, that kind of stuff. But I really more so feel that you're feeling like this is going to work out, or the result is going to be exactly whatever it is that I wanted here. There's something about you guys being like, this is what I'm manifesting. Like, I know it's going to kind of like be attracted to your way, or, that kind of stuff. And I just feel like there's something here that you're satisfied with something here, a certain level of being like, I feel satisfied with something. On the other hand of things here, Gemini, there might even be something that you're feeling, maybe a level of, I'm not satisfied with whatever this is. Again, you're going to know that better than I am. If that's the case, and again, I think that you're thinking of something in the terms of, okay, how is this going to work? How do we make this comfortable for everybody, or comfortable for yourself, or whatever it is? Okay, that kind of stuff. You know what's weird? I'm getting like slammed with like the idea of like guilt, like guilty. I'm like, whoa, with this Nine of Cups. So that is very interesting. I don't really know what to do with that. I'm just gonna, I don't know. That's what I heard that loud and clear multiple times. So there's something. So, all right. In your environment, you guys have the Magician card here. Okay, I wonder if you are feeling like you need one more thing here. If you're like, I have all this stuff, but I need one more thing. Or you're feeling the energy of something that you have that somebody else maybe is feeling like, well, I'm missing that thing, or I need that particular resource, or something about that. All right, that kind of stuff. I'll also tell you another thing here. I think there's something that you're either creating or putting together, or something about that. Okay, manifesting something about that. All right. I just think that you're in the air of your mind. There's something that you're like, how do we? Not even how do we? It's more like, there's a lot of moving pieces. Like there's like I feel like you are thinking of movement. You're thinking of movement. I don't know, something about that. Okay. Or something that is like chaotic, that kind of stuff. But I can't help but feel like there's a level of you guys being a little bit comfortable in that way, or knowing that this was like eventually going to happen. I don't know. So, all right, you guys have the Knight of Pentacles, and this is showing up as what you're wanting. I think that you're wanting, I think you're wanting like action behind words, plans, that kind of stuff. That's what I'm feeling here with this Knight of Pentacles. All right. I also wonder if maybe what you're wanting is just maybe like hard work, consistent work, something about that. All right. Certainly could be. For some of you guys, maybe this is even, you're just like, I just want something to even like freaking work on. Like I want something to work for, or, that kind of stuff. That certainly could be. All right. Maybe you have a very active mind right now, and you're like, I need to move around. I need to problem solve, or, something like that. So, all right. Let's see. I'm also understanding some of you guys being like, well, I want to quiet the noise, actually, whatever that is. So, all right, you have the King of Pentacles, and this is showing up as the possible issue. Maybe this is something that has like been taking a really long time, or there's a level of like, well, this is what we always do, or there's a sense of like tradition kind of like tied into whatever's going on here. Okay, it is showing up as part of your, as part of the issue, but I feel like there is something that you're maybe wanting to like start working towards something, okay? It actually almost kind of feels like taking a step back from something, okay, that maybe is really consistent or is like traditional or something like that. It's like taking it, it's like reworking a plan is almost what I'm kind of feeling here. Reworking some plan or seeing how something can like get up and running once you kind of like formulate it in your head or kind of can see it, visualize it in your head, and then being like, okay, and now we're going to start, you know, putting this thing together, you know, right? That kind of thing. So if that's the case, maybe the issue is possibly maybe this is somebody who's like, yeah, but I want it to stay the same way, or I want it to be how it always is, that kind of stuff, okay? That could be part of whatever this is. So, all right, for your opportunity, you guys have the 9 of Wands. So I think there's something about maybe pushing forward with something as opposed to compromising. That could be part of whatever this is, okay? And maybe this is even the opportunity to possibly even like maybe like defend yourself from something here, or putting up like a line of like, I don't even think it's really that. I think it's just like being persistent about something, being like, no, like we're gonna give this another shot, or like this, I'm serious, like this is what I want to do, something like that, okay? Maybe even reserving your energy a little bit, all right? That could certainly be something here, right? This might be something that's going on in your environment that requires you to like be the creator, be the manifester of something. So, all right, let's see, Gemini, let's see. There's definitely this, you know what it is? This is almost a little bit reminding me of Libra's reading, just a little bit, because I am understanding this whole thing of like, yeah, but we have to bring this down to reality. Like, it's all great and it's good and all that if it's like, you know, up in the air or whatever the heck it is. But like, we have to see if this is attainable, or we have to see like how this is going to go, or how this actually works in application, or, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. All right. That's kind of what I'm feeling. So, all right, let's see. Yeah, because you're like, well, I don't want to do this and then not have anything to show for it, you know, that kind of stuff. That kind of sound like chauffeur, like somebody who drives you around. I don't know. I don't know what that was about. All right, let's see, Gemini. So let's see, with the 5 of Wands, you guys have the Moon card. Okay, and this is again showing up in the area of your mind. For some of you guys, I wonder if you're even trying to piece together something that maybe is like purely intuitive, or is like very much so like in your like brain space, or, you know, that kind of thing, that maybe again hasn't exactly been like brought down to reality, but is more like a working hypothesis, or like a, you know, like, well, I don't know how every artist kind of like goes into their little art process stuff, but like it's like is this planned out, or do you just kind of like go into it and just like see where the paint takes you, or I don't know, something like that. Weird. It's actually not really a weird example, but I'm understanding something about that is like, okay, I don't exactly know how this is going to go, but I do know that like I can see, like I can kind of visualize like the moving pieces to it, but like maybe the end result is like, I don't know what the end result is going to look like, but I do feel like there's like hope in whatever this is. Okay, that kind of stuff. All right. I also feel like there's maybe something that you're thinking of like, yeah, well, how do I do this without anybody noticing? I don't know what that's about. That might be very specific for somebody, but I am also understanding something about that. Okay. I also wonder if there's maybe a little bit of a fear or hesitation to go into something that maybe is a little bit chaotic, but I more so feel like that you're not really fearful of that, okay? I think it's more just like the unknown that you're more so thinking about, you know, that kind of stuff. So, all right, let's see. Okay, so you guys have the 9 of Cups, and then you have it with the Hierophant here, and this is showing up in the area of your feelings. So, okay, you know what? It almost feels like you're feeling like, all right, I'm not only am I satisfied, but I'm satiated with like the old way of doing things, or the way that like I don't know, like the way everybody else does things, or maybe even something that you do every single day, or like the status quo of life, or whatever the heck it is, that kind of stuff. I feel like you're feeling a certain level of like, I want something more, or like I need need to like break out of this. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, we need to like shake things up, or like, I don't know, like try something else out here. But again, it's like this whole thing of like, yeah, but how's that going to look? Or like, do I, is there fears attached to that? Or is this going to be misinterpreted? Or, you know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. All right. That's kind of what I'm feeling here. So I do think that you are feeling a level of like, we need to do something different. Like we gotta do something different here. That kind of stuff. For some of you guys, maybe you're feeling a level of, I'm very much satisfied with like, maybe the way you were taught something or that kind of stuff. But there is this like, if that's the case, you're still thinking like, yeah, but there's a way to like inject something new here, or to try something out, that kind of stuff. But I don't know, there's something. I don't know if you're hesitating or something. So, all right, in your environment, you guys have the Magician card and you have it with the 8 of Wands. So I feel like whatever's going on, I feel like this is something that happens quickly, or gets put together quickly, is created quickly, something about that, okay? Or this maybe is something where it's like, you know what, once you kind of take those first steps, or start kind of like strategizing something in your head, or seeing how it's going in your head, that kind of stuff, it could very well be that the universe is like, okay, I see your vision, let's make this happen, that kind of stuff. Or again, this could be somebody who just like knows how to use all their tools, their resources, that kind of stuff, or is like, I gotta tell you, Magician and the 8 of Wands, to me, that's like a huge force of like action, like big momentum, that kind of stuff, like big energy. That's kind of what I'm feeling in your environment. So, all right, let's see. You guys have the Knight of Pentacles, and then you have it with the 6 of Cups here, and this is showing up for what you're wanting. Okay, I think that this is simply being like, I want this thing to be put into reality. It's like we need to now start like planting those seeds and like making moves with it, instead of just kind of like theorizing it, or this, that, the other, that kind of stuff. It's like, now we need to put it into reality, but we need to make a concrete choice. But the only way to see if something is going to work is to try. You know what I'm saying? Is taking those first steps to see, okay, is this working? Is this attainable? Is this like, or is this like totally up in the air to the point of like, this is never going to work, that kind of thing. Okay. That type of situation. All right. So, okay. I gotta tell you, for some of you guys, maybe this is even like wanting to make like a calculated decision on something, or being like, I want to make the surefire choice, or I want to make the choice here that is like the most stable. Maybe it takes a while, that kind of stuff, but it's like, no, that's the one that I don't mind waiting for. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. So, all right, you have the 5 of Cups, and this is showing up as what to do. So maybe there's something about like seeing what you already kind of have working for you, like moving forward, that kind of stuff. I would also say maybe there's options you've already tried here, okay? That kind of stuff. Possibly that's like, hey, remember that. Like, remember the things that didn't work, because you still have options that you haven't tested yet, or you know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff, okay? That could certainly be part of whatever this is. Maybe for some of you guys, this might be like experiencing like some type of disappointment, or really thinking of something from the past. But I feel like that's more so to like jog your memory about something, that kind of stuff, all right? So what to avoid, you guys have the 2 of Pentacles here. I think this is avoiding taking on too many tasks at once. And I also wonder if this is an avoidance of feeling like something has to be like perfectly even, perfectly balanced, that kind of stuff, okay? That could definitely be part of whatever this is. I would also say like there's something about focusing on like the task at hand before being distracted. I listen, that happens all the time. I don't know if we can really control that much, okay? But it's more so before being like, okay, yes, and I'm going to sign up for this thing, say yes to this thing, I'm going to take on this responsibility, this, that, the other. It's like focusing on like one thing at a time, all right? That kind of stuff. Again, Knight of Pentacles and the 7 of Cups here. Maybe there's something that you're like, yes, but I have like a million different options here. But it's like, all right, but what's the one that you can see yourself doing now, and for whatever time period you want this to be, that kind of thing. So, all right, you have the King of Pentacles, and you have it with the 6 of Wands here. This is showing up for the possible issue. I wonder if there's something here that it just like requires a lot of finances, or that whatever's going on here, there's a tendency to maybe always go towards something that is traditional, or is like the way things have kind of like always been done. All right. That kind of thing. Maybe this is like kind of looking for an update in some sense, that type of thing. All right. That could certainly be something. I'm understanding somebody showing up to something with something very expensive, and that's apparently showing up as a problem in some sense. I don't exactly know why, so I can only kind of assume that's going to be something quite specific for somebody, because I'm not sure why that's showing up as an issue, but I do understand that maybe being presented somehow as an issue here, okay, that kind of stuff. All right. Okay. So let's see. You guys have the Justice card here, and this is showing up as what to do. So that's kind of what we were saying is like, you know, the only way you're going to see if something is like either worth it or actually can happen or that kind of stuff is like taking those first few steps and like making some type of decision, you know, that kind of stuff, or trying out something here, that kind of thing. That's completely what I feel like is part of whatever this is. Okay. It's like what were the results of that? Or like, did that pan out the way that you wanted, that kind of stuff? That's kind of what I feel here. I also understand something about you guys like taking notes on something or like tracking something in some sense so that it's not completely up in the air, but you have like actual like something to like go by, you know, that kind of thing. That's kind of what I'm feeling. All right. So you have the Six of Pentacles, and this is showing up for what to avoid. I think that right now we're not supposed to be like over giving to anything that maybe you're like, well, that is not going to give back to me in some sense and might be making you feel depleted. I feel like you have the Nine of Pentacles somewhere at the bottom. I don't know. I thought you had it somewhere here, but that might be more of that indication of like, yeah, but you don't want to like put in all this work and have friggin' nothing to show for it, or give out way too much of something to the point that you're like, I have nothing for myself, or now I feel like I'm constantly playing catch up, that kind of stuff. Okay. There's definitely something about that. So yeah, like not giving into situations that are like not giving back to you in some sense. Okay. That kind of thing. That might be part of whatever this is. Okay. I'm telling you, there's also really something about focusing your energy or whatever it is on one particular thing here. Okay. That seems to be super important. That might just be like an efficiency thing, or maybe a way so that you're not like thinking of like like, oh my God, I have all these things to do. I have a million things that I'm like thinking of, or that kind of stuff. It's like focus on one friggin' thing, that, you know, that kind of thing. I have such a hard time with this too. So like, you know, I don't know, just thought I'd tell you that. Okay, so let's see. You guys have, so you have the Nine of Wands, and then you have it with the Three of Cups here, and this is showing up as your opportunity. This maybe is like giving maybe I don't know, giving something a second chance here, okay? That kind of stuff, maybe coming together or celebrating something with other people so that you can like celebrate the result of something, possibly with other people, that kind of stuff. I wonder if, again, this is like giving a second chance to that situation, or pushing through something, all right? Maybe pushing through, maybe if you're like somebody who's like, oh God, like, you know, I feel kind of nervous showing up to whatever this is, or I feel uncomfortable, or I feel like I'm like the odd man out, that kind of stuff. That could, you know, that could be part of whatever this is. I wonder if it's like a big push past those types of feelings, so that you're, again, like able to kind of like, I want to say get the result of whatever it is that you've been working on, or at least being able to maybe even share a particular result with other people, you know, that kind of stuff. All right. Okay. All right. So let's see. You guys have the Lovers card, and this is showing up as what to do here. Okay. All right. So okay, you have like this energy of like possibly something that's more traditional, maybe being like, okay, I want to update something or something in that aspect. Okay, that kind of stuff here. I feel like this Lovers card for what to do is just incorporating both elements of that. Okay, is finding like a certain harmony with something so that both sides of whatever is being represented, felt, seen, validated, all that kind of stuff, and working in unison together, that kind of stuff. Okay, definitely understanding that. All right, maybe you have like striking a certain harmony, but like you think harmony, okay, those are like two things that are different, they work together really nicely. So there's something like that. All right, there's definitely something about that. I will also say making some type of decision here. Okay, that kind of stuff. Knight of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups here, it's like, yes, you want to make a decision somewhat one way or another. Okay, so it's like making that decision. And again, it's like the one, maybe this is the decision that maybe you I wonder if this is going back to an original decision you had already made, and then you were like, wait, hold on, let me change it. And then I was like, nope, let's go back to the original thing, you know, something like that. That could certainly be part of whatever this is here. So you have the Four of Cups, and this is showing up as what to avoid here. I would avoid being like, I would avoid giving up on something because you're like, I don't know how to figure this out, or there's something missing here, or something about that. It's like, no, don't just like tap out, you know, that kind of stuff. Like kind of putting your heart in something, or keeping your heart into something here, because it feels like what to do is to kind of incorporate, like I was saying, incorporating two things, putting them together, you know, that kind of stuff. I'm like almost getting like the friggin' temperance card off of this. I feel like I'm reading this as a temperance card. I don't know, but I'm not sure. Maybe you're dealing with a Sagittarius, okay? Gemini, maybe this is choosing you. You know, I'm saying that because this is a Gemini reading and this is a Gemini card. So maybe that's what it is like choosing the way that like what would Gemini choose? You know, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's like the ball's in your court with whatever this thing is. Okay. That kind of stuff, you know, certainly could be, but I wonder if it's like when the time comes, it's like, oh my God, like now, like I have to make the decision, like that this thing is going to be seen, or whatever the heck it is, you know, that kind of stuff. So I definitely, you know, I would avoid, I would also avoid saying yes to an opportunity that you're like, I really, really need to think about that, because that might be the answer right there. It's like if you're overthinking something, or it's not like, if something feels off, there might be something in that, okay? I would just keep that in the back of your head, you know? I'm picking up something about that. But I got to tell you, I think my favorite is the Lover's card here in your reading for what to do, especially like, again, you are a Gemini, and I just feel like this is really putting like, I don't know. I feel like this is a good energy for you guys. I really do. I like it. I just feel like we should like kind of lean on that. I don't know why, but I'm like very much getting that feeling. So, all right. So Gemini, sorry, this reading's a little bit short. That's what I have for you guys. I hope it was helpful and made sense, all that kind of stuff. If not, you could check your other placements. Otherwise, I will see you guys back for your next one. Thank you. Bye.